Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This is part 2 of a video I made back in January. I want to follow up with some research that I continued after the incident that I had with the burst disc on my CO2 canister bursting and spewing CO2 into the air. Just to recap for people who didn't see the original video, on Sunday, January 20th, 2019, at around 4 p.m., I was sitting at my computer communicating on Facebook PM with some people interested in buying rats from me while I heard a loud pop, then heard loud hissing from across the room, looked over and saw my CO2 tank spewing CO2 into the air. I grabbed the whole box with the cylinder in it and literally ran out the back door with it as fast as I could. It took me 8 seconds, and on my last step before reaching the back door, I put my foot down and nearly fell because I was about to faint. I got it outdoors just in time. Once I got my bearings, I thought I was okay, except for some minor irritation in my lungs and nose and a dry mouth. But about 20 minutes later, my nose started pouring clear, salty liquid. This liquid was not like regular mucus. It had no sliminess to it whatsoever. I found out later on that it was actually plasma. And I found some research to back this up in my reading. I then made a video, the first video, to warn the reptile community about this danger. It's something that I think there hasn't been a whole lot of research on the shorter term effects of this gas on humans. There is some material, but you have to dig pretty deep, and most of the material is on long-term effects to medical professionals who use this in anesthesia environment, that kind of thing. They have documented some long-term cognitive damage that occurs when medical professionals are supposed to use this on a long-term basis. But it took me a while to find much information on the short-term effects or the acute effects, but I was able to find a few things. The first thing that I did after this incident happened was I called Dick's Sporting Goods and spoke with the manager and explained to him what happened. And he actually told me that, initially, I guess he was a little bit scared by the whole thing, and he said, well, since we didn't actually sell you the canister, we just filled it, we can't really do anything. And I said, well, no, what I really wanted was your expertise, because since you fill these things all day long, could you tell me how this might have happened? Because, I just had it sitting there, I didn't touch it, I hadn't done anything with it yet, and I was actually planning to use it on some rats the next week. And what he told me, he said that he actually, although they do sell Tippmann brand canisters in their store, he doesn't really feel that they are the best quality canisters, and he tends to steer people toward other brands. And he then recommended that I contact the manufacturer and let them know that this happened, which I did. I was a little reticent about it because of the fact that I know that a lot of times manufacturers have a knee-jerk reaction as soon as they get a complaint like this, because the first thing they think about is liability and damage control. Well, my suspicions were correct. When I contacted the manufacturer, I got a hold of a man who he had a New York accent, so I don't know whether that was where he was based or he had just moved from somewhere else, but his response was defensive right away. He was really kind of a jerk, to be honest. And when I asked him about how this happened, he swore up and down that, oh yes, CO2 is completely safe, it's just what you breathe out, it can't hurt you, and, what your experience is like a, one-off, isolated incident. And he, refused to accept that there could be some real danger involved with human exposure to this gas. But I was able to find enough even at that time. Even the guy at Dick's Sporting Goods did acknowledge that it's not good for people to be exposed to, and that's why they recommend that you actually gas the rats to do it outdoors and never in an indoor environment. But this guy from the company, he was highly defensive. It took quite a while. It was all I could do not to hang up on the guy because he was so rude to me and so dismissive that it was, hard to stay on the phone with him and listen to his nastiness. He just basically said that there's no deleterious effects to this, and blah blah blah, and he said that the first disc that exploded and spewed this stuff into the air is in fact a safety measure. And I said to him, well, yeah, I can understand that it's a safety measure to keep it from becoming a guided missile and, slamming into the wall and that kind of thing. But what about the safety of humans exposed to the gas itself? And at that point, he was stumped. And he sort of reverted to trying to turn this whole thing around on me and saying, well, of course I didn't tell him what I was using it for. He was trying to question me about, oh, well, what gun are you using? What is your marker and all this, where do you play? And I just, I didn't feel like I owed him that explanation. I said to him, look, I'm calling you because I thought you would be the responsible thing to do, because maybe your company would want to know that there are accidents happening with these canisters, and maybe there's a way to troubleshoot it. And I asked him, I said, is there a way, do you have some sort of a procedure? Is there an incident report that I should fill out, or, what do I do to officially, give this input? And he admitted to me that this big company has absolutely no procedure for that. So he was like, well, you can email me and give it to me in writing if you want. And then he said, well, you should really go to a doctor. If your nose is pouring this clear liquid, then you should find out what's wrong. And why haven't you gone to a doctor? I said, well, it's just been one day and it happened over the weekend. So I do plan on doing that. But, doctors are not available on the weekend. And I really didn't want a chance going to the emergency room because that's a whole other, hassle and everything. So as I proceeded to ask him questions, I said, really, what, I'm only interested in finding out how this happens and if there's a way to prevent it so that other people don't have this happen and that we can reduce the number of these kinds of incidents. So at some point he finally did give me some useful information after he quit being so defensive. And so at that point he said to me that these canisters are just, they're made in such a way because of the burst discs um, that they have kind of a hair trigger, and there's very little margin for error. Originally, when I had started researching it, I had gotten information that they're often overfilled when you bring the canister into a local place, sporting goods place to be filled. But in fact, it's not that they're overfilled, but the fact that they're filled to capacity is the issue. And when you fill them to capacity, there's no extra room for any sort of expansion. There's no margin for error. What that means is that if there are any changes in the ambient temperature, even up or down at all, then the burst discs are subject to bursting. It can be just the slightest change in the environment that you're stored in. That means if you store it outdoors and you have temperature fluctuations outside and the sun beams down on it, even if it's not very hot, if it even fluctuates a few degrees, that can set off the burst disc and the entire thing can discharge. He also shared with me that basically, if you could feel a change in the temperature of the room, the canister feels it even more. That was a direct quote from him. And it can go off. So, based on what he told me, but he did give me some objective information about how these things function, it doesn't seem to me like they're a good piece of equipment to use for a room euthanization chamber. Because what he told me, he said it's actually not recommended to store the gas for really any time at all. Because they're designed for paintball games, they're designed for people to basically go pick them up and then go right to the field and play paintball and discharge them, once a number of, once some of the gas has been released, then the risk of the burst disc going off is less. He shared with me also that during the summertime, people who play paintball have this happen often. It's a routine occurrence because of the higher temperature and the sun being down and all that kind of thing. They're constantly having to replace their canisters because of this mechanism of the burst disc. So he doesn't recommend storing the gas at all. That the way it's designed, by definition, is just too low. I asked him about the larger tanks that some people use, the big, heavy metal canisters that are used more for medical use and those types of things. And what he told me about those was that although it can happen with those, they also have burst discs on them. The risk is much lower because those tanks tend not to be filled to capacity. They have a certain amount of space so that there's room in case there's any sort of expansion when liquid gas converts to condensate. So if you have a 24-ounce tank that's, let's say you bring it into a sporting goods store and you have them fill it to 15 ounces, that's one way that you can reduce the risk of this possible discharge. With all that being said, I believe that these tanks are not really safe and should probably be taken off the market as is unless the industries create a fail-proof way to prevent them from going off unintentionally. First discs, they prevent the kind of explosion that would make the canisters into missiles, but doesn't adequately protect the people from CO2 exposures who are using them. There's a lot of medical evidence that CO2 is toxic to humans and other animals. It's not as this company states, non-toxic and just out. It's precisely why veterinarians and scientists use this gas to kill rodents. Its effect on the central nervous system is what puts animals under anesthesia and what ultimately causes their death. It displaces oxygen so that it cannot be adequately utilized by the body. And, just that alone tells you that there are some risks to humans being exposed to this gas. I also know that, if you have any medical conditions like I do, I have autonomic dysfunction, which causes my blood pressure to drop unexpectedly. And, so it may be that people that have certain conditions, if you have a heart condition or you have some sort of autonomic dysfunction, that, these populations may be more susceptible to this gas. And the anesthetic threshold may be different for people who have certain medical conditions than for the general population. And that could explain why, why this affects some people and not others. I looked up some research, and I found that there was a research project done and a paper written in Tel Aviv University in Israel that talks about the high concentrations and how it affects people once this gas is released, when a lot of it is released at one time. I'll place a lot of these in my description so that you can read further. There's also an article on carbon dioxide is largely responsible for the acute inflammatory effects of tobacco smoke, although that's not directly related to these canisters. It does give some information about CO2 and how it causes inflammation. I also found another article, I think one of the most relevant articles is the one on one called Carbon Dioxide for Euthanasia, Concerns Regarding Pain and Distress, with special reference to mice and rats. Now that one, I know that their focus was based on, measuring what level of distress the animals have in being euthanized that way. But I did find some interesting, relevant information that pertains to humans in this study. There's a direct quote from this study that says, also noted damage to the lungs and or respiratory tract via observations of serious serosanguinous nasal discharge during exposure to 50% CO2. What that means, serosanguinous nasal discharge is, basically the serum of the blood, which is plasma, which is exactly my experience that I had with where my nose was pouring plasma for a whole week. I did actually see a doctor for that, and she confirmed that my whole nasal passages were really inflamed. After a week, it did seem to subside, but again, I don't know what possible long-term effects might have happened from that. I don't know whether, whether it was completely reversed or whether, there might be some effects that I'm not aware of that were lasting. And it says, also in that same article, it says, literature demonstrates that CO2 is painful and or distressful in humans at concentrations ranging from 7% to 100%. So that means there's quite a wide range. You don't have to be exposed to a large amount of CO2. It doesn't have to be a huge canister in order for you to suffer some sort of pain and distress from the gas. So I guess depending on a number of factors, you can, as a human being, react to as little as 7% CO2 in the air. And when you figure that the way CO2 acts is it pushes oxygen upward, then at some point you're going to be exposed to a large percentage of the CO2 in the room that you're experiencing this in. The other issue is that it can be fairly expensive. Even if you store this outside, where if it goes off, no harm, no foul, you're not directly exposed to it, your other animals and people living in the house are not exposed to it. That canister then either has to be reconditioned, and the first needs to be replaced, it has to be serviced, or you have to go and buy a whole new canister. Each one of these is approximately $20 a pop. So unless you have money to burn, it's quite likely that this could happen relatively often, and and you could end up having to spend a lot of money to replace canisters, especially during the late spring and summer months, whenever the temperature is consistently higher, the ambient temperature. So, yes, as I said, I would really like to see these things, remanufactured. I'd like to see some new version of these come out that would be safer in terms of CO2 exposure on humans. I know that there was another article that I had read that was written by, I think she was a veterinarian, and she actually designed some sort of a chamber to contain the gas so that it wouldn't remain in the chamber, the euthanization chamber. It would minimize the amount of exposure that people had to the gas over time. Because, generally when you have one of these setups, it really is there's a certain amount of gas that stays maintained, especially in these BioKips type airtight containers. There's a certain amount of the gas that stays in there long after you've euthanized the animals. And then when you open the container to take the animals out, then you are exposed to a certain amount of the gas. But yeah, in closing, I'd like to say that I'm hoping that this will help some people. Maybe if you do decide to build one of these chambers, it'll help you do it more safely. give you a few things that you can do to try to mitigate the risk to yourself and your family and possibly other pets that are not intended to be euthanized in your house or in your reptile room. Hopefully this video was helpful, and maybe it'll even create an impetus for better manufacturing of these things in the future, so that people who keep reptiles, will not have such a, won't be, exposed to as much of this stuff as they are currently. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, if it was informative, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate it. Spread this video around. Hopefully there will be some positive change to come from it. Well, thanks for watching.